Ayan. So again, magdi-demo tayo later. But for now, discuss ko na muna yung introduction to WordPress so that you will have an additional idea or some insights. You will acquire some insights about the background of WordPress, what it is, and among other things. No? So let's cover this muna before the demonstration. Okay, can you please type WP if you are ready? Type WP. Okay, let's continue. So introduction to WordPress. So you will learn here that the basics of WordPress or the WordPress CMS, and also understand the basic commodities in developing a website. And of course, the domain name registration will cover that, and the web hosting sign up. Why we add it here? Because not all the time you'll be using the GWHS service. May chances pa rin na yung agency will use their own web hosting service from another provider, and they will also register their own domain name somewhere instead of availing of the .gov.ph na service ng GWHS. So regardless of the service that you will be availing, it's important that you understand some of these commodities, as we call it. Okay? So tinatawag natin sa commodities in developing our website. All right. So what is a content management system or CMS? It is a software that helps users create, manage, and modify content on a website without the need for specialized technical knowledge. All right. So dati kasi, when you develop a website, you still have to connect different parts and you have to code it. Ganon talaga dati. Different yung module for the header, for the body, for the footer. So parang modular type siya before. Ganon yung pagde-develop ng website. But with the CMS, ano na siya, bundled na siya, nandun na lahat. Every part of the website, all the features or most of the features nandun na. And you can customize it further. Nandun na rin yung content management na feature, which is ito talaga yung parang core niya na feature ng CMS kasi nga content management system siya. Okay? In a simpler language, a content management system is a tool that helps you build a website without the need to write all the codes from scratch. So simple installation na lang ng CMS, you already have a website. So just like this one, kanina with this, pinakita ko lang sa inyo na pre-installed na CMS ng WordPress right here. Ito na yung bare default WordPress CMS. The moment you install it, ito na yan. Okay? Dito rin sa staging website natin, huwag nyo na munang galawin. Ito na yung bare WordPress natin. Ayan. As you can see, it looks the same, right? Identical talaga siya. Nagkaiba lang siya dito sa site title. Right here. Ayan. But of course, it doesn't stop there. We can always customize it and make the website look the way we want it to look like. Okay? All right, so let's continue. Now that we understand the CMS, then let's try to understand WordPress naman. Okay? WordPress. So WordPress is a free and open source CMS written in PHP and paired with a MySQL or MariaDB database. So ayan, so may mga CMSs, one of those CMSs ay si WordPress. Okay? Yung mga competitors ni WordPress, nandun si Joomla, si Drupal, si Magento, even Shopify is a CMS. No? If you are familiar with Shopify as an e-commerce platform, CMS din yun, proprietary CMS. Si WordPress.com, it's another CMS, proprietary CMS si WordPress.com. Now, you might ask, sir, familiar ako dyan. Merong WordPress.org, merong WordPress.com. Ano yung pinagkaiba nila? Well, they are more or less the same in terms of the tech stack na ginagamit nila. It's just that si WordPress.com, ginagawa na siyang software as a service by a certain company. Okay? The same company who runs platforms like WooCommerce and other products. Na-build yung WordPress.com out from WordPress.org. Pero pag sinabi talaga natin open source CMS, yun yung nandun kay WordPress.org because that's the original community. That's the original developer of the WordPress CMS. Yung nandun kay WordPress.org. Hindi si WordPress.com ha. Although you can create a website sa WordPress.com, proprietary na yun. May-ari na company. Okay? So yan yung pinagkaiba nila. And when we say proprietary, of course, hindi lahat talaga ng gusto mo pwedeng gawin because you will still be restricted with certain policies or terms and conditions. Okay? Ayan. So very clear dito na sinasabi no na si WordPress is a CMS, open source CMS siya, written in PHP. So yan yung back-end server-side language, PHP, okay? And paired with a MySQL or MariaDB database. Yung ginagamit niyang database is SQL. Okay? And it needs to have the service of a MySQL or MariaDB so that mag-work yung WordPress. Okay? Now, the programming languages used in WordPress-based websites include this one. No? Although some languages can be integrated into a WordPress environment, in a nutshell, ito yon. Nandun yung PHP for the server-side language. Nandun yung JS or JavaScript for the front-end development and other functionalities. Cascaded style sheet or CSS. And then, of course, para ma-wrap yung website natin, it uses HTML. Although hindi naman talaga, meron nang sasabihin mo, hindi naman programming languages yung HTML. Well, pwedeng sabihin natin, hindi naman programming languages. Pero it's the, like, when we talk about website and semantic HTML and all this, markup, di ba? Wala namang ibang ginagamit na common sa websites. It's really HTML. Yun din yung pinaprocess ng browser para na-interpret siya or na-display siya in the user's window. Di ba? Ayan. So basic lang, you don't need to really be adept, super adept on these programming languages right here. It helps when you are familiar with this or when you have skills working around these languages. No? So PHP, particularly PHP and JS and CSS. Yeah. And of course, HTML. Now you might ask na, what are the websites that we have these days na gumagamit ng WordPress? Is the one that you might be wondering, is the one that I frequently visit na website is running on a WordPress CMS? Well, you'll never know until you check it, di ba? But I can only tell na most likely that your favorite websites, particularly news websites or any other content websites, are really running on a WordPress CMS. Here's just some example of those WordPress-based sites na popular. Microsoft Blog is running on WordPress. PlayStation Blog is running on WordPress. TechCrunch is also running on WordPress. The cPanel Blog is running on WordPress. And even the White House in the US is running on WordPress. And that is why we won't be surprised na kahit yung government natin, yung Philippine government natin, are recommending or is recommending the use of WordPress as well. Because it's really widely used across the globe. Most of the clients that we work with, sa TechWorks, AdWorks, are really using WordPress. So hindi na siya bago. It's been there. The development has been rapid talaga yung changes and development. So when WordPress was created, it was just created for a blog platform. No, parang pang blogging lang talaga siya. But it, considering na open source siya, it has evolved a lot to a point na pwede na siyang gamitin pang e-commerce, pwede na rin siyang pang other applications, ng mga web applications. So there are just so many possibilities, and that is thanks to the developers contributing to the WordPress CMS na platform. All right, so as I mentioned earlier, there are other CMSs, just like Joomla, Drupal, Squarespace, WordPress.com, Wix, and among others. Now, we have here the CMS. We understand the CMS. We understand WordPress as another open source CMS. Now, let's talk about the e-commerce component of WordPress. Now, when we talk about the e-commerce component of WordPress, pumapasok dun right away is WooCommerce. Okay, so WooCommerce yung pumapasok right away because it is the leading e-commerce plugin for the WordPress CMS. Ayan, sabi dito na WooCommerce is an open source e-commerce plugin for WordPress. It is designed for small to large sized online merchants using WordPress. You might want to offer online services or e-commerce services sa mga agency websites ninyo. And in any case you need that, okay, you might want to look first using WooCommerce, okay, as the plugin for that matter or for that service. Now, you might say na, can we use something else na e-commerce plugin for WordPress? Well, of course you can. Okay, hindi naman tayo nire-restrict to use other e-commerce plugin. Pwedeng ibang plugin na yung gamitin niyo for your agency website. It's just that when you submit it for the GWHS service, titingnan nila yon kung ano yung plugin na ginamit niyo for the WooCommerce. I mean for the e-commerce. Yeah, so we have here, again, the CMS, the main CMS. We have WordPress as a CMS. Then we have WooCommerce under the e-commerce component of the website. Now, you might ask, how popular our WordPress and WooCommerce are. So, a couple of stats right here, from w3text.com. We can see it here, na based on the top 1 million sites across the globe, as the sample, ito yung sample na ginamit natin, 40% more or less are running on WordPress CMS. And the rest are just, small percentages distributed to different CMSs as well. And then this other section right here is a combination of a lot of CMSs, some of which are custom CMSs, And when it comes to the WooCommerce plugin as an e-commerce plugin for WordPress, or essentially as a e-commerce platform, yung WooCommerce is has 30% of the total market share according to Beltwid. Okay? Now, regardless kung i-check natin yung stats from Beltwid or from W3Text or even from Statista, di ba? Whichever platform you check that, it's the same, leading pa rin yung WooCommerce and WordPress in terms of market share. Ayan. And by the way, we can expect growth of the WordPress CMS over the next couple of years, particularly with the rise of AI, because actually, hopefully by next month, I'll be able to conduct a training on WordPress website development using an AI. You just have to prompt a certain platform to create a website, and it will be built around the WordPress CMS. So it's like the first website draft, which is kind of really interesting. So maybe for now, manual muna yung development natin, pero by next year, hopefully, ma-integrate na yung training na yon sa web content management training like this one, wherein the participants will be using AI na siya. So, madali na lang maggumawa ng website. Pero it doesn't mean na mawawala na out of the picture yung mga designer and developer, because the AI can only create the first draft of the website. Okay, and then the tech stack of the website will still be manually configured by the developer or designer. Okay, yung first draft lang talaga ng website yung gagawin ng AI, which is actually na-launch na siya this month. Makakapag-conduct na kami ng training by hopefully by next month, So we're just gonna compile the materials and share it to the public. Okay? Ayun. So, the way I mentioned that, as I've said, because of the AI, mas madami pa yung mag-a-adapt ng WordPress. Mabilis kasing mag-adapt si WordPress considering that it is an open source CMS. And when we say open source, madaming minds, so many minds, so many brilliant minds contributing to the growth of this platform. So yan. But of course, hindi rin natin ma-neglect na because of it being popular, siya din yung nag-gain ng interest ng mga cyber quote-unquote criminals, di ba? So yan. Pero hindi naman yun basta-basta talaga as you configure the website security correctly, and efficiently. All right, so let's talk about developing a website and the basic commodities involved with that. So when we talk about the basic commodities in website development, particularly with WordPress, we only have three. We have there the domain name, the SSL or secure socket layer, and of course the web hosting and the server or the server. Now, for the server, you can use either localhost on a control panel like cPanel. Okay? All right, so in the context of the GWHS and GWT, or the agency website, for the domain name, you have an option to purchase, domain name from another provider, or have it from the ICT's GWHS. Okay, the same thing for the SSL and the web hosting service. So flexible tayo dito. Ayan. Now, for the domain name registration, ayan, so for beginners, particularly, domain name is the address, It's the address that people type in the browser URL bar to visit your website. In any case, this is something new to you. But yep, it's like this. This is the domain name. And while we can read it like that very easily, like gwt-gwhs.com, it's actually not like that, if we dig deeper, because this is just a representation of the actual location of the website in the World Wide Web, which is determined by the IP address. Okay? mapped or masked using the DNS system. In a simpler term, actually the domain name right here has an equivalent IP address, but we don't publish it that way for the website. We don't say that visit our website at 192.168.1.1. We don't say that, no? We say it in a conventional way na domain name yung binabanggit natin instead of the IP address. Okay. So I think some of you already understand this. It is because of this, what we call as the domain name system. Okay, that traps or cloak or mask, you know, the IP address and provide an alternative name in the form of domain name. Now for the domain name best practices, in any case, you'll be assigned to register the domain name on behalf of your agency. Consider these things now. Choose the appropriate TLDs. And choose the appropriate TLDs, top level domain. When you say top level domain, should you use .ph, .com, .org, or .edu, or whatever? Now, so you have to, depending on your agency, you have to use the appropriate TLDs. Now, you might say, now we already have the main TLD na gagamitin naman for the agency, but we have another project or collaboration with another agency. What would be the ideal domain name to register? So it depends, no? Is it for a certain cost or something? Is it commercialized? So nandun, commercialized siya, it is .com, or generally it is .com. Now, if it is for a certain community or organization, .org or .net, depende na yan. Now, you might say na, can we use .gov.ph? Yes, you can do that, but you can get that from the ICT. Okay? Or .edu from, I think there's another organization in charge for the distribution of the .edu na domain names. Okay, so this another registrar, as we call it, for that one. I think the ones from the SUCs know better than us when it comes to the name of the ano. Nakalimutan ko na siya. It's at the tip of my tongue. Yung name ng organization is responsible for the distribution of the .edu na mga domain names. Okay? Now, you can also consider SEO. When we say SEO, search engine optimization, the domain name must be SEO friendly. Okay, don't use just random terms in the domain. Make sure that it is something related to the brand, related to the name of the agency, or related to the name of the project. So, yan. So that when someone search for relevant terms on the search engine, mag-rank siya dun sa search engine, on the search engine result page, yan, or SERP. Yan. Another tip is short is best. That means na when you choose your domain name, okay? For example, with this one, when we choose this, no? Like GWT, GWHS, you just keep it that way for the branding purpose. And of course, we don't want something like governmentwebhostingservice.com. It doesn't sound good. And it's like masyado siyang mahaba. Okay? So yan, short is best. And branded. Yan. Branded, as I've said earlier, dapat the domain name will represent the agency, the domain name will represent the project, the domain name will represent the brand. So dapat branded siya. All right? So yan. Now, when you register domain names, although you can get the domain names from GWHS, in any case you want to avail it from them, alternatively, you can also get it from the domain registrars like GoDaddy, Namecheap, Name.com, and Enom. No, so madami actually yung mga domain registrars in the industry. I can only name few of them. So yan. Alright, so any questions so far sa overview ng WordPress natin? Introduction ng WordPress? Questions, clarifications before I proceed with the demonstration? Right here. Questions, clarifications? Okay, so going back, kindly log into your WordPress websites and type the dashboard in the chat if you are in the dashboard. Ayan. Okay, so kindly log into your websites, find your name and your URL login page, log in using the username and password. Then once you get in, type dashboard. Yan. Okay, let's continue. So at this point, we will cover the demo, navigating around WordPress CMS. So kanina, we just mentioned CMS, no WordPress, things like that, no, but we did not really like show a lot of it inside. So at this point, we will show you how it looks like inside and what are the features, the functionalities, the sections of WordPress. So at this point, when you log into your WordPress dashboard, okay, notice that the URL looks like this. Your domain name, at this point, naka-subdirectory pa lang naman kayo. Pero in most cases, it's really like something /WP admin. So yan yung ano niyan, yung last part ng URL. And once you are there, you will be able to see the dashboard like this. Okay? And in the dashboard, we have here some some contents like these, kind of welcome notice sa version 6.3.1 ng WordPress. Okay? I usually dismiss this, okay? Considering the fact na we can always learn more about the version of WordPress. I mean, the latest version of WordPress, the latest features of that version from the from the WordPress.org website. So in case like that, I just clean this up like that. Okay, so para mas maklinis yung dashboard. Now, dito sa dashboard natin, as you can see, meron dito naka-display na mga boxes, no? For the, for the site health, like this, WordPress events, quick draft, among other things. And it can get like more crowded each time we add new plugin to the website. So for now, parang ganyan lang siya for now. Pero as you add more contents, as you add more plugins, as you add themes, etc., napapopulate siya dito. So we don't want it to be messy somehow, no? We want to make it as simple as possible or as, minimalist as possible. Now, there's an option to that. It's called the screen options right here. And here you can check and uncheck the boxes that you want to be displayed in the main dashboard. So in this case, for example, I can keep the site health and I can keep the at a glance na section. I mean the box for the activity, I can keep it as well. But for the WordPress events, say I don't want that in the dashboard, so I can just untick the box. Ayan. And again, yan pa lang yung nakikita natin ngayon. But as you add more features sa website through the use of plugins, mapapopulate na rin dito ng madami pang options to enable the boxes. Okay? So, for now, yun lang muna yung tanggalin natin, yung events and news. Okay? And you can rearrange this para mas makikita natin yung mga items that really matter. Okay? For the quick draft, by the way, I don't normally use that. So it's my personal preference. And I'm not sure if you will do the same, okay? You only use quick draft if you publish contents frequently, okay? If you don't need that, just untick the box and, put something else there instead, like this one. O, di ba? So, mas malinis na yung dashboard natin. And again, magiging complicated naman yan ulit as we continue developing the website. But you know it already how to manage the boxes here. It is just through these screen options right here. Okay, so that's the dashboard. Now let's move on to the updates section. Dito sa updates section, dito natin makikita yung mga plugins, themes, and even the WordPress CMS, the WordPress core, as we call it, the WordPress core files. Dito natin makikita if that particular plugin or theme or the WordPress core file need to be updated. Okay? So dito nakikita natin na so far all the plugins are up to date. All the themes are up to date. And yung WordPress core natin is also the latest version. So we don't have anything to do at this point right here. But here's the case, no? when you do management and maintenance, particularly if it's gonna be periodic, regular, monthly or quarterly, semi-annually, you always go here in the section to check the plugins, the themes, or any tool that you have here that needs to be updated. Okay, so this is part of the process. It is also here where you can reinstall the CMS, like the WordPress itself. In any case, nagkakaroon ng mga problems yung website and you feel like the WordPress core files have been compromised, you might want to reinstall the WordPress core. Okay, when we say WordPress core, yun yung nandun kay wordpress.org, this one. Ito yun. So ito yun yung WordPress core. And as I've said, in any case makompromise yung website, the only reference that you can compare against is the core files hosted in the wordpress.org. Why is that? Because we can tell na yung wordpress.org has all the legit files, all the uncompromised copies of the WordPress core. Okay? Dito lang talaga natin makikita yan kay wordpress.org. Now you might say, well, I downloaded it before and I had a copy of it hosted or saved somewhere in the cloud. That's not a guarantee na ano yun ha. Hindi yun guaranteed na hindi yun makukompromise. Okay? Over time, we might not notice it. Yung save copy natin ng WordPress or files, baka na-compromise na rin yan. And then, when you use it, wala na. May zero vulnerability na siya. Di ba? Alright, so going back, yung pagre-reinstall ng WordPress, while you can also do it here, you can also do that one in your server. Okay? In cPanel or whichever hosting service you are using. So may option done. Alright, so next to the update section in the WordPress dashboard is the post section. By the way, before I proceed to the other items, no, yung structure ng WordPress for now is like this. You have then the main dashboard in the left pane. You have there the other features. The features that you see right now on this section, ito yung mga default na mga features. That means when you install WordPress, ito talaga yon. But you will notice it that as you add more plugins, as you add themes like GWT, nadadagdagan yon ng options dito sa left side. So, umaabot na hanggang dito na siya. Okay? Or, mahirapan na kayong hanapin yung mga particular options ng plugin na gusto nating i-configure. Because, sabi ko nga, magiging ano na to dito. Populated na yung area na to. For now, ito talaga yung default. Nandyan yung link to the post section, to the media section, to the pages section, comments, appearance, plugins, users, tools, and settings. Okay? Okay, so going back dito sa post section na to, when you open that, you will be able to see all the posts like this. Okay? Right now, we don't have any post except for the default na post there, which is the Hello World right there. Diba? Ito yan nandun sa website natin na Hello World. Now, at this point, I want you to delete it. We don't need it. Just delete that Hello World na post. Okay? And delete it also permanently from the trash section. Okay, so at this point, walang laman yung post natin or post section natin. We will add more posts later on as we continue with the content development and content publishing sa website development ninyo. And all the posts you published will appear right here. Okay? All right, so another thing is under the post is the categories and tags. Now, the categories and tags, it's very self-explanatory. When we say categories or category for a certain post, it only means that we are categorizing the different posts into different like clusters or topics. Okay, so that's how we use it. Blog posts, announcements, news items can be categorized, for example, as news. Okay, we can call it that way. Or in any case, we have some kind of blogs and it covers certain services, we can categorize that blog under that service. So pwedeng ganon. You name the category accordingly based on the name of the service. Pwede rin ganon. As for the tags, we only use the tags to, further add some kind of tag to the content, to the blog. Say, for example, when you publish a new post and you want to tag it like DICT, you can use the tag na DICT. The purpose of the tag is for additional visibility on search engines because by design, the WordPress CMS, meron siyang tinatawag nating URL structure for the tags and categories. And fortunately, with this type of URL structure, nakikita na crawl pa rin ng search engines. So that is why even if you just search for the tag, okay, if it's relevant, may chances pa rin na yung content, yung post, magra-rank pa rin sa search engine just because of that single tag na ginamit natin. So when you use tag, don't over tag it, of course. As a rule of thumb, you can use like 3 to 5 tags for its post, or you can like use 1 or 2 tags for its post. You don't need to populate it with a lot of tags for every post. It might just do harm sa website ninyo. Okay? It's like stuffing. Okay, we don't want that. All right, so that's for the tags and categories. Later on, when you are ready to add post, when you are ready to publish post, simply have to click that add new button right there or link right there, and it will open the blog editor right here. The blog editor right now is using what we call as the Gutenberg. Okay, so ito na yung tinatawag natin na Gutenberg. The Gutenberg is the new editor sa WordPress. Okay, Gutenberg editor. Ayan. So this is now the new editor in WordPress, and it's kind of really powerful, no? So it uses different functionalities. Parang humiram din siya ng ibang functionalities from page builders like Elementor or Divi or any other any other page builder out there. And it uses what we call as blocks. So dito. Ayan, blocks. In other words, this one actually can be a single block. And then these three are 3 blocks. And this one, another blocks. So pwedeng ganon. So we design the website that way. So more about this later on as we do the web design and as we continue the development of the website. For now, let me just share to you that yes, the WordPress CMS now uses Gutenberg editor. So gone are the days na, although it's still there, yung classic editor. The thing is, the support for the classic editor has been, suspended already, and it will be phased out eventually. Now, if you are new to WordPress, I suggest that you get used to this. Okay, use a Gutenberg. Another thing is if you have been using WordPress and you are used to using the classic editor, I guess it's time already to switch to the Gutenberg editor. Now, you might say, well, nandun pa rin naman yung plugin to revert the editor. My suggestion actually is to start getting used with the Gutenberg editor talaga. Kasi eventually, si classic editor, yung support ng plugin na yan has been suspended already and eventually ma-fish out na yan. Okay? So yan. So that's for the post na feature right here. And by the way, you will get used to this na ganito yung itsura niya because when we discuss the page later on, more or less pareho din lang talaga yung itsura ng editor. Ganito pa rin. For the editor, it is here where we can add the title of the post or the page and then the contents. And then the contents can be added through different blocks. Okay, by just clicking this plus icon right here to add the different blocks. The blocks can be browsed right here. You will have options to add the different type of contents to use in your page or in your website. Okay, so more about this later on. But again, to add different contents here, you just have to use the block feature and, design the contents right there. More about this later on. So in the right side of the editor, ayan, nandun yung other options. Okay, like the categories, the tags, the featured image, things like this. Now, yung mga settings for the comments, nandito rin yan. In any case, you want to modify those options, okay, you can do it right here. Okay, so for the categories, as mentioned kanina, di ba, you can create a category. You can either add it here in this section, and it will automatically appear in the category section dito. The same thing for the tags right here. Ayan. The tags can be just like 1 or 2 words, okay? Para mas effective siya. And then for the featured image, ito yung tinatawag natin na hero image. Or featured image, it's the image that appears alongside with the post, no? Particularly when the link is shared on channels like social media or anywhere, no? Yung mga Messenger, Facebook page, things like that. So ito yung lumalabas doon. So in any case, mag-share tayo ng link or ng post or ng page later on, tapos it doesn't look good when shared, walang image, hindi siya optimized yung yung snippet niya. So dito yan. We have to set the featured image right here. Okay? So that's just kind of an overview for now for the post editor. Let's move on to the other section of WordPress. Okay? Since demo pa lang naman to ng WordPress dashboard. Okay, so ayan. Now that we have here the post, let's skip to the pages section. As I've said kanina, the pages section is more or less the same lang siya sa post. Okay, it's just that the page or the pages is where we can find the contents na intended talaga for the pages, like the about page, the services page, 'di ba, yung mga pillar pages or pillar contents, we usually publish them as page, and we can do it right here. Okay, so just like the post, we add new, or we can also do it right here sa section na to. And ayan, we have a sample page na nandito, and it looks like this one. So ayan. Okay. There's a draft privacy policy page right there. Okay, you can recycle this later on for your privacy policy page. Okay? Later na natin galawin doon sa creation na natin ng content. For now, just leave it there as is. So ganito yung sample page. As you can see, iba yung itsura niya sa blog, di ba? The blog has mga social sharing and all of those breadcrumbs na nandun. So may mga content pa in the blog post na nakikita natin. With the page, it's as simple as that. Di ba? Malinis tingnan. You can customize the content of the page like this one, okay, using the editor pa rin, like this. Okay. Okay, let me edit this page and see how it looks like there. More or less yung itsura ng editor, Gutenberg, it's the same. Okay. Ayan. So this is the editor. Same thing, you can add title, you can add blocks right there. Okay. Choose the blocks that you want to use, modify it on the right side, and publish it when the content is ready to publish. Okay, so that's how it looks like in the editor. Okay. So ito yung sample page na tinignan natin kanina sa front end. In the editor, this is how it looks like. You can edit the title right there, the text, and among other things that you can add as part of the content. For now, what I want you to do is to delete the sample page because we don't need that. Okay, just delete the page, put it in the trash, and then delete permanently from the trash. Dito. Punta tayo kay trash and delete natin. Okay, trash, then delete permanently. Okay. Okay, so now that we have discussed the posts section and the pages section, let's go back to the media section. And the media section is where you can see all the uploaded images. Dito. The uploaded images, downloadables that you might want to add in the website, like PDF file, okay, that you want your constituents to download, you can add them here and then use that file in the content. Don't upload videos in your WordPress website, okay? Because it's gonna drain your resources in the server. It's not a good practice to upload directly a video to your website. Well, you can do that. It's not advisable unless you have terabytes of storage or so much storage to use for the videos. And another thing is when you use the CMS ng WordPress to host videos, or when you upload videos in the media library, it will also gonna take a lot of your bandwidth, di ba? Because the bandwidth that will be used sa videos na yan will be your bandwidth allocated sa server ninyo. And we don't want that, no? So we want the website to just serve the content, display the content. But if in any case we need to provide or embed videos, we can have the videos first hosted in YouTube, for example, or on Vimeo, okay? And then just embed the content, the video content in the post or page. So that's how we do it for the videos. We don't upload directly the videos in the website. Okay, so yeah. But for the images, we can upload them here, but we need it optimized first. Okay, you will learn more about optimization, image optimization later on. Okay, so ayan, you can either add the media or image in this section, directly in this section, or you can do that within the post. No, because when you create the post or page, there's an option for you to add an image like this one. And when you upload an image there, automatically it will be displayed in the media library section right here. Okay? Ayan. So for example, dito mag-upload tayo ng ano, ng image, okay? Like this image. In any case, mag-upload tayo ng image like this one. Any image na pwede natin gamitin. And mag-a-appear na yan dun sa ano. So for example, ito lang muna, transparency 0. Now that we uploaded that, lalabas na yan dito sa media library automatically. Ayan. Okay? So that's how you do it. Hindi na muna natin pa-publish yan. Okay? Diyan na lang muna yan. Okay, so that's for the media library. Another feature of your WordPress CMS or WordPress website is the comment section. Now, if the agency website will be like, if you will be publishing contents, will you want the public to engage or your constituents to engage? Pwede naman yan. And if the engagement is through commenting, you can also do that. We can enable that feature in the website. And once nag-comment sila dun sa website, sa mga post natin, dito yung nag-a-appear sa section na to. Okay, dito. Right here. Okay. Okay. And also in this section, dito natin na-filter yung mga comments na approve na sort out, no? Yung comments. In any case, mag-enable tayo niyan. Bakit bawal daw mag-comment, sabi ni DICT? Bawal mag-comment sa website? Tama ba? May mga contents tayo na pwede naman kapag nagre-register po yung mga user. Hindi ko yata na gets yung context, no? Can you please, you can unmute yourself, no? In any case you want to share something. Marami po kasi nagre-register sa website namin. Yung registration ng website, it is done in the settings, no? We will cover that one later on dito sa discussion section. Pero pag commenting lang, case to case basis kasi yan. In any case na yung website will allow users to comment, particularly on the blog section, why not, di ba? While I understand na it can be parang sabihin na natin pwedeng daanan ng SQL injection, okay? Pwede siyang daanan yung comment, but it's not the case if you have the website secured properly, di ba? Yeah, I understand, no? I understand na pwede maging security issue kasi you are allowing people to comment. Pero as I've said, in any case you need that feature, you can enable that. Just make sure that you have the right security setting in place. Okay? So yan.
Sir Bert, question po.
Yes.
Ma'am,
Yes,
yung
go ahead.
comment po ba is similar po ba parang sa feedback page po or contact us page ng website? Yun po din po ba yun?
Hindi po ma'am. Bali yung contact
Hiwalay.
us, yes, yung contact us page and feedback page po natin, dito natin yun ipapublish sa pages po dito.
Sa pages, hindi po rito sa comment. Okay,
Yes
sige sir.
po.
Thank you po.
Yung comments na nandito, ito yun yung comments doon sa posts, usually mga blogs. And there are cases kasi na yung blogs will be enabled for commenting. And if that's the case, dito yung papasok yung mga comments. And dito na rin natin siya ma-moderate yung mga comments na yan. Alright, so and by the way, somehow tama rin naman sa DICT GWHS, no? Nire-restrict or better to restrict it if it is not, pwede rin naman gagamitin, di ba? So, pwede, i-restrict na lang natin. Pero may cases talaga na yung section ng website might have blogs and then you will allow the public to comment on them. So, in that case, enable siya, di ba? Alright, so, ayan. Next to comments is the appearance section. So this one controls the look and feel of the website, particularly with the use of the theme. So as you can see dito, we have a couple of themes. We have 2023, 2021, and 2022. When we talk about the GWT, and when I said last time na the government web template will be added to WordPress, dito yon siya, i-add yung GWT. Pero hindi pa natin gagawin ngayon. Okay? I'm just telling you that this is where we can add the template, the GWT template, as a new theme. And yun yung gagamitin natin na primary theme dito. So here's the rule of thumb when creating a WordPress website. Okay, a lot of website owners are not really observing this, but this is one of those best practices na pwede na nyo i-observe. In the themes section, you only have to use one primary theme and another secondary theme. And that's it. Diba? You don't need the other themes there. You can delete them. Okay? So for example, with 2021, feel free to delete it there on your side as well. Delete them. Same thing with the 2022. But only delete 2022 when you already have the GWT. Why? Because right now, primary theme natin is 2023. And 2022 will serve as the backup theme. Pag nagka-problema yung primary theme, automatic yung fallback kay 2022. Now, you might say na, okay, so Sir Bert, pwede din pala gumamit kami ng version 26 ng GWT as the first or as the primary theme, and then we will use version 25 as the secondary theme. Yes, definitely. You can also do that. So, just make sure na you are really certain na when something happens on the primary theme, yung fallback theme will still work as the secondary theme. Pag sira din kasi yon, okay, masisira talaga yung tsura ng website natin. Okay? So, when we upload the GWT template version 26, pwede na natin i-delete itong 2022. Okay? So, yung matitira na lang dapat dito is yung primary is the GWT, and then the secondary or the backup theme is the 2023. Magpapalit tayo ng theme later on. For now, yung naka-default na theme is 2023. Kaya ganyan pa lang yung tsura niya. Napaka-simple lang. Simple rin lang naman kasi yung 2023. Di ba? So yan. Wala pang content actually. It looks like that. Okay? Okay, so may question dito. Sino yung active doon? Yung primary or secondary? Right now, ito yung active natin, yung primary. 2023 yung active. You can see it right here, yung active. Okay, so I hope I answered the question. Now, you might want to modify the theme in one way or another, like adding extra code. Say, for example, you might want to add Google Analytics tag or tracking tags or tracking codes. Okay, you can do that by going to the to the source code ng template ng theme. There's this site editor, bago lang siya. Okay? Hindi pa siya masyadong kalalabas pa lang na feature nito from version 6.3 ng WordPress. Before, yung site editor dito na section, may theme editor dito na option before that allows you to add extra codes dun sa theme. Okay? O sa template. But since we don't have like a direct access to that anymore, In any case you need to modify the theme by adding extra codes, you can either just do that in the server side. Because the template can be accessed naman dun sa server. Okay, you can modify the files there. In any case, you need to do that. In most cases naman sa agency website, hindi nyo naman kailangan talagang i-modify yung code ng GWT, no? Mas maganda nga rin iwasan yon para pag nag-check si GWHS ng integrity check, if okay ba yung integrity ng GWT, hindi siya modified, yung core files ng WordPress hindi rin, wala rin masyadong mga customizations, mas madali siyang approve ng GWHS. Pero if there's a need to really modify it because you want to achieve certain feature or certain results doon sa website, pwede rin naman yun. Subject lang sa further assessment ng GWHS. Okay, so that's for the themes. Nandyan yan yung themes natin. By the way, for the themes, no, in any case, we just mentioned here GWT as the primary. I-ano ko lang, segue ko lang na in any case you also develop websites outside, no, you can opt to using another theme, another preferred theme na gusto ninyo for that project. Okay, so it's the same thing. All right. So let's move on to the plugins section. Yung plugin section, okay, dito, the plugins is a feature of WordPress that allows you to add new functionality to the website, add new features. No? So it's like an extension, an add-on. Okay, so WordPress environment, we call that as the plugin. Okay, now there are so many plugins in the WordPress repository. Okay, this is the repository, and you can search any plugin you want to add to WordPress. But here's the caveat there. In developing a government website or a website for a government agency using GWT and GWHS, there are like pre-approved plugins. Okay? Yung mga pre-approved plugins na yon, nandito yon sa ano natin, sa Google Classroom. Okay? I just shared it there ahead. I'm not sure if I shared to you the story about this, no, na I actually managed to get this list from the old website pa ng iGov. Okay, and I just added some plugins na I personally recommend, the ones that I highlighted here, na hindi nila sinama. But somehow will still be approved ng GWHS. Kasi these plugins are, of course, aside from it being popular, are also reliable. So there is a process of, a process for plugin selection. Okay? Which I'll be sharing to you later on. Hindi pa lang nasama itong mga plugins na to. So, but here's the thing also, no? While I got some of these from the old website ng iGov, and nandito pa rin sila, that doesn't mean na nandun pa rin sila sa repository. My point is, this was the list before. Okay? Nagdagdag lang tayo ng ilang plugins based doon sa tinuturo natin sa website development and web content management using WordPress na course, which is this one. Now, you might want to check some of these plugins. Pre-approved siya ng GWHS. But in any case, when you look for that here and you don't find it anymore, that only means one thing. Hindi na supported ng developer yung plugin na yun. So for example, with this one, Awesome Weather Widget, for the sake of discussion, hanapin natin siya dyan. I'm not sure if nandun pa rin siya, no? So wala, no? Wala akong nakikita Awesome Weather Widget. But there are other alternative plugins for this feature right here. Ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyo na you are free to use any plugins, but before you even choose the plugin that you want to use, try nyo muna kung nandito ba sa list ng GWHS. If nandito, yun na muna yung gamitin natin para mas madali yung approval. Now, you might say, wala na doon hindi na supported, tinanggal na sa repository. Then, we can use something else and then, suggest to GWHS that you are using that and they can just review it. They will be able to review naman the plugin. In any case, sumabi tayo doon sa assessment. Okay? So yan. later na yung plug installations natin, the plugins that I want you to install as part of the training, mamaya na yan. Okay? For now, at least alam niyo na okay. So sa WordPress pala, merong mga may feature for the plugins, and I can install any plugin that I want to achieve a certain feature in the website. Okay? So for now, I just want you to delete this extra plugin na nandito na tinatawag nating Hilo Dali. So this particular plugin is like one of those early plugins na hindi tinanggal ng WordPress community, ng WordPress, like yung mga founders ng WordPress.org. Meron din kasi yung story kasi behind this is merong sentimental value sa kanila. This is actually one of those first few plugins na na-develop during the launch of the very first version of WordPress. Okay? So ito yon, yung developer, si Matt Mullenweg. Isa rin siya sa mga founders ng WordPress. Okay? So delete lang natin. Okay? We don't need that actually. So delete lang natin. So for now, let's leave it like that, na meron siyang akismet dito na ready for activation. And by the way, you probably notice it na meron siyang really simple SSL plugin dito. Here's the thing. On our case study website na nandito, okay, we configured the SSL ahead for security. Okay, dito. And when we configure SSL of the website, we use a plugin called Really Simple SSL. Ayan. So yung Really Simple SSL, it addresses other issues of related to SSL, no? Like mixed content issues, mixed content errors, among other things, na fix siya if ginagamitan ng plugin na Really Simple SSL. Okay, so just trust me on that one. We have been there a lot of times and we have seen some websites na hindi gumagamit nito. And then may mga content na nagre-redirect, nag-i-infinite loop, and sometimes nagpo-point to HTTP only, no? Kahit naka-HTTPS na yung website or naka-enable na yung SSS. And why is that? It's because meron pa rin namang mga files na nandun sa website, most likely may mga files pa na nandun sa website na hindi na configure ng usual natin ng configuration sa SSL, hindi siya na change into HTTPS. Okay, so on cases like that, we have to use a plugin like Really Simple SSL. Nandyan na siya kasi ginawa na namin siya. Okay, we pre-configured it for you guys. But in your staging website later on kay GWHS, pag nabigyan na kayo ng staging cPanel ni GWHS, nag-configure kayo ng SSL, but then naka-encounter kayo ng mga issues like mixed content errors and among other issues related to SSL, try installing this plugin and that might fix it. Okay? So, really simple SSL. Nandyan na siya, pre-configured. Okay? So, yun pala yung nandyan natin sa plugin na yan. On some cases, pag gumawa kayo ng website, it's normal not to see the really simple SSL there. It might be that hindi pa lang siya ginagamit sa website. Okay? Or hindi lang siya nalagay doon. Whoever set up your WordPress. Alright? So, yan. Another section of the WordPress dashboard is the user section. This one. Dito natin na manage yung users. This is where we can add users, we can delete users, we can assign the rules of the users. Okay, configure their privileges among other things. So nandito yan. Okay? Now, if you are the webmaster, the ITO, the in charge of the website, and you want to modify your profile, okay, sa website, your user profile, just go to the profile section and there you can modify it. Okay? Yeah. Next is the tools section. So dito sa tools natin, yung default pala na nandito are this one. No? So meron tayong import function, export function, and we have the section to monitor the site health, like this one. Okay? And ayan, mga data privacy related na mga functionalities like export personal data and erase personal data. For the erase personal data, dito natin siya, ginagamit natin to in any case, say for example, the user or a certain user request the deletion of the data in the website, kailangan tayo mag-comply dyan as provision in the Data Privacy Act na the user must be provided with the option to opt in, to give consent, and at the same time, to allow the user to make request to delete the data. in any case, magre-request yung user or yung constituents natin na mag-delete i-delete yung data nila on the database, we can do it right here in section. Okay? So yan. Yan, we have there the import. In any case, may mga nagawa na kayong contents sa ibang website, you can import it here, no? But here's the thing, the import function will just import the main content like the blogs, the pages, and among other things. It will not import everything. Okay? Hindi ito yung feature na hinahanap natin to migrate the website, just to be clear. And hindi rin ito yung export function na gagamitin ninyo para ma-export yung website ninyo to the GWHS. Meron tayong plugin gagamitin for the migration. The import and export function na nandito is only for the content of the WordPress website na meron tayo. Okay, so for example, if I export the content of this website, I can only export the posts, the pages, and the media. Okay, yan lang. Or all of these contents right here. Or hindi yun may export yung database and other files na nasa server, hindi yun. Okay? Configurations ng mga plugins, hindi yun na-export using this feature right here. If you want to migrate the entire website, we will use another plugin for the migration, which I will be covering in the next, hopefully by next week na siguro, doon sa migration. Alright? So yan. Meron site help section. Some of the items you can ignore. Okay? Not really kind of serious. Although this one, version 7.3 yung PHP natin, no? Ito yung sinasabi ko. We downgraded ahead the PHP version to 7.3 or 7.4 because yung yung server namin for this one is running on PHP version 8. Unfortunately, hindi nag-work yung GWT version 56. So we downgraded it to 7.4 and 7.3. Nag-work yung GWT version 26 doon. Okay? So you can ignore this for now. Okay? Paano mag-export? Paano import yung site namin sa WordPress? Anong plugin gagamitin? Ayan, nandito na rin yan. No? I suggest that you deal with that later on. If possible, guys, kung saan yung discussion natin, doon na muna tayo. Kasi particularly when you're like few steps ahead sa training, sometimes magkakaproblema tayo doon, no? And babalik tayo doon sa assistance. And nagugulat na lang tayo, ba't nandun na kayo sa part na yun? So, if possible, we are all at the same page muna para sabay-sabay yung development natin. Okay? So, yun. But yes, you can use plugin for the backup and migration. And I will be sharing to you what is specific plugin na gagamitin. Okay? So, yan.
Bert,
Alright.
excuse po. Sir,
Yes,
sir,
please go ahead.
saan pong Google Classroom po yung kanina po pinakita yung Google Sheets? Yung mga available na plugins.
Nandito? Yes.
Ano po yun, sir? Day 1? Wala pa po yan.
Nasa general. Nasa general. Ipapublish ko siya
Ano po?
maya-maya lang.
Okay po,
General.
sige po. Sorry po. Thank you po.
Sige. Yes, ipapublish ko siya maya-maya lang after the session. Okay?
Okay po. Thank you po.
Alright. Okay, so going back, ayan. This section, yung sa site health, this is an indicator, part of your management and maintenance to always check the site health for vulnerabilities, for any areas to improve pa. Pero for now, we can ignore this for now. It's just a training, no? But again, once you go live, kailangan talaga ina-address natin yung mga concern na nandito. Okay? So may mga steps naman yan dyan kung ano yung kailangan gawin to address that specific concern as part of the site health. That is just one. Okay, that is just one. Meron pa tayo mga measures na i-observe and I will be sharing some of them to you guys as we go through with the rest of the training. Alright, so dito tayo sa settings. Ito na yung last na i-discuss natin because madami siyang madami siyang subsections yung settings. Now, sa settings, dito natin nasiset yung title natin ng website. So, dito natin nalalagay yung name ng agency. Okay? And the tagline ng agency. Ayan. Or the name of the website and then the tagline of the website. Now, meron dito, in the previous sessions, in the previous training ko with this course, pinapalitan nila yung WordPress address URL at saka yung site address URL. Please don't do that, okay? Remember that this is just a staging website. And the staging website na mga to, naka-map out siya to use these URLs. Don't attempt to replace this with your agency's website because that staging website will no longer work. Okay? So, kailangan natin i-override yung config in the backend, which we don't want to do it, no? So, I'm just telling you na don't change anything here. Once you install WordPress on a certain domain, automatic na yon, or a certain location, a certain URL, automatic na yon if it fits na yung value na yon, and dito yon makikita. And we don't have to change anything there. Okay? I hope that is clear. Don't change anything in this section. Otherwise, masisira yung website niyo. Okay? For the administration email address, feel free to use the email address, your best email address that can receive notifications that you want to use in logging into the website. So, yeah. Although we set it up na to use your email addresses na naka-provide dito, okay? Ayan. So, for now, ano lang yan. I mean, in any case you want to change that, feel free to do it. Okay? Alright. So, dito sa membership, anyone can register. Ito yun yung sinasabi ni DICT na you can actually disable this in any case you don't want your users to register in the website. But what about if the website will be transactional? Diba? Pag transactional, that means you might want the users to register sa website instead of, although pwede rin mag-check out like a guest user, diba? Pwede naman mag-check out as guest user. But in any case, gusto nyo mag-register talaga yung user, dito yan, ini-enable. Okay? Ayan. So when you enable this, that doesn't really mean na magiging, ano na siya, it's like vulnerable na yung website to intruders or hacking or security threats. Nagiging totoo lang yun if walang protection yung website. But as I've said, tuturo naman natin yung proper way of protecting the website. So don't worry about it if naka-enable yung registration. And don't worry about it if you need to use this feature. Pero again, kung hindi na magagamitin, better not to enable this. Okay? So I guess yun yung sinasabi talaga ni DICT. Okay, so for the site language, naka-default siya, and then the time zone, you change that to Philippine time zone. Okay? Singapore or Manila. Hanapin natin. Wala pa Manila dito. Ayan, Manila. Ayan. I-change natin yan. Yung time zone na yan. And save changes. Yun lang yung ano natin, yung babaguhin natin dyan. Okay? So, nothing more, nothing less. Alright, so that's for the general settings. Let me check kung may nag-chat. Dito kayo nadali ng DICT. Okay. So, ito yan, no? Yung sa registration dito. I-deactivate lang yan kung hindi naman kayo magpaparegister ng user sa website ninyo. Alright? So, let's move on to the writing section. Ayan. So, for the writing section, you can keep everything as is, no? Yung default. Let's move on to the reading section. Wala na tayo masyadong gagawin dun sa writing section for now. Okay? Skip na muna natin yan. Sa reading section, this one, ito yung sinasabi ko last time na when you create a website tapos hindi natin modify yung section na to, yung naka-default niya is that, sorry, mali pala yun. Dito pala yun sa, hold on. Tama, reading. Okay. So seems like wala yung ibang option, no? Kasi nag-delete tayo ng ano. Pero merong option dito to set the homepage, no? So, ba't nawala? Hold on. Okay. Okay. So dito lang muna tayo. Tingnan natin tong reading section na to. For now, okay, yung gagawin natin at this point, when you are still developing the website, we want to discourage the search engine from indexing this website. Chine-check natin to block the search engine bots. Okay? Essentially, this function, pag check natin dito, nag-a-add siya ng value doon sa robots.txt file na sinasabi, no? Meron tayong tinatawag na robots.txt file. Ayan. This is the file that tells the search engine what exactly to do with that website. Now, when tick this box, we are telling the search engine not to crawl and index the website. Not yet. Kasi dinidevelop pa naman natin. Okay? So you can do it like that na i-discourage muna natin, okay, yung indexing ng website and then save the changes. That's the setting for now na pwede natin gawin. Okay? Alright, so sabi dito, how about yung mail server configuration for forgot password purposes? Okay, we can do that later. We will address that, no? We will use something else for the WP mail service, okay? For the email service. That is one of those first few plugins that we will be installing by tomorrow. All right? So we don't need to change anything at this point. Importante, kaya nandun siya sa very first few plugins yung pag-configure ng email service, because if you don't do that, you won't be able to receive notifications in your emails each time may mga changes sa website, like email password change or sign ups or subscription, anything, no? Lahat ng mga notifications through email, dapat na-receive natin yan. And we can only receive that if the email service of the WordPress website has been configured properly. And I will be teaching you by tomorrow how exactly to do that. Okay? Alright, so let's move on to the discussions. Dito yung sa commenting. When you enable comments, okay, this is where you can further customize it. Okay, so ayan. So may mga options dito like anyone post a comment or something like that, or any other settings na nandito. Madami siyang options for the commenting and discussion. Now, you only modify the settings here if you enable comments in the website. Okay? So, for example, dito, allow people to submit comments on your post. If you restrict it, then you can just uncheck that. No? I mean, if you want to restrict it, you can just uncheck that box. And then, ayan. So, users must be registered and logged in to comment. If you want that the user who will comment must be registered, we have to enable this option right here. Madami siyang ano dito, mga pwede natin gawin for the commenting system. Ayan. The logo na mag-a-appear para ano, you can use some custom ano dito, avatar, as you call it. In any case, yung agent's website ninyo will have posts or blogs, and then you want the users to comment on them. So, i-configure na natin dapat to. Now, if hindi naman natin gagamitin yung commenting system, there's no need for you to configure this. Okay? Alright? So, yan. For the media section, okay, we can ignore that for now. Okay, this one, very important. So, the permalink section determine the structure of your URLs when you view the page, no, in the front end. So, kanina, for example, when I open the blog, the Hello World, di ba? May chances na yung structure niya is nandun yung year, date, and month before the URL slug. We can say na medyo ugly, no, yung structure. So, we want to beautify it, and the best option here for the permalink structure is to set it to custom, to post name, okay? This one, post name. You choose post name so that yung structure ng URL ninyo malinis. Okay? Malinis siya. Wala yung days, wala yung month, wala yung year, or any other extra characters right there. So it's just the URL slug after the main domain. Okay? So just choose post name and then save the changes. Ayan. Again, post name, then save the changes. Now, dito sa privacy section, we can continue the configuration of this later on once we have the privacy policy page published in the website dito. So right now, naka-default pa lang yan dyan sa privacy policy page na nandito, na naka-draft, okay? Naka-default sa dito. But again, later on, once we have the page for the privacy policy, we can go back to this section sa privacy setting and select the page not to use for the privacy policy ng website. Okay, now dito sa SSL na section, napansin nyo dito, meron siyang SSL, no, na option. Ito yung galing kay Really Simple SSL. This is one of those examples na sinabi ko kanina na as you add more plugins, okay, as you add more plugins sa WordPress, nadadagdagan na yung options dito sa left side. And this is the example of that. Si Really Simple SSL, when we installed it, the plugin adds a section dito that is called SSL right there. And when you click on that one, it allows you to configure the really simple SSL plugin, okay? Which we can do right here, right now. So dito, tingnan natin, no? So, ayan, when you go to the SSL, okay, may settings tab dito. Just follow through the demonstration, okay? For us to, to achieve higher rating right here. Kasi ibig sabihin nito, madami pa tayong hindi nagagawa on this staging website. So, to complete the configuration of the really simple SSL plugin, we have to configure it here. By the way, talking about the plugin, note that while you can install a plugin and activate a plugin, once activated, don't leave it there as it is, okay? There's still one task that you need to do after installing and activating a plugin. You have to configure the plugin. Okay, so dapat meron tayong installation, activation, and configuration of every plugin that we install. Okay? So on this case, nag-install tayo ng Really Simple SSL, nag-activate tayo ng Really Simple SSL plugin, i-configure naman natin yung Really Simple SSL. And to configure the Really Simple SSL plugin, nandito siya sa settings na section. Okay? So, dito tingnan natin. Ito yung sinasabi ko ng mga feature na meron siya na nafi-fix ng Really Simple SSL, kagaya ng mga mixed content errors, no? So, meron siyang mixed content fixer. Ibig sabihin, if there are still some contents in the website na gumagamit ng HTTP na protocol, i-fix niya yan. I-redirect niya yan doon kay HTTPS. Kasi naka-SSL na yung website eh. Di ba? Yan. Punta natin sa baba. Dapat naka-enable to, naka-enable lahat dito. And save and continue. Okay? And this section right here, dapat enable na lang muna lahat. Okay? So, this is part of the security actually. Okay? This is just one of those. We still have to do something. This is just the first layer, yung SSL. Okay? SSL is just the first layer in the website security. We'll protect further the website by hardening security through configuration of the brute force feature, the login security, among other things. Okay? So, the firewall, i-set up natin yon sa security na module natin. For now, the first level of security sa website natin is to configure the SSL. And once we have the SSL set up and configured, activated, we have to configure further dito sa Really Simple SSL plugin na nandito. So, make sure naka-enable sa lahat. Okay, lahat ng mga options na yan. And then save and continue. Ayan. Ayan, so, pinapaano niya pa, no? Hina-harden pa niya yung configuration. Alright, so just save and continue at this point. Save and continue. Go ahead. Just do that and up to the end. Save and continue. And then save. So, yung score dapat ng configuration is the highest possible score na pwede niyo ma-achieve na wala na kayong pwedeng gawin. Okay, so tingnan natin dito sa dashboard. Okay, so what else can we do? May mga remaining task pa siya, which is this one. Part na siya ng pro version nila, which we can ignore. Okay? So, yung configuration has been finished already ng ano natin, ng Really Simple SSL. The website is already protected at the SSL level. Okay? Now, for beginners, the use of the SSL, particularly sa isang website, very useful yung feature na to, security feature na to, particularly when you are sending and receiving information. When we say sending and receiving information dun sa website, say for example, you have a contact form. Di ba nag-send yung user, nag-fill up dun sa form, tapos nagsa-submit. Pagka-submit nila, ita-transmit yun sa database natin, which is nasa server. Now, pagka-transmit ng data na yun, hindi yun naka-HTTPS dito. That means yung transmission, hindi siya safe, hindi siya encrypted. So, yung purpose talaga nito ng SSL is to encrypt the data sa transmission na part. Okay? So, yan. From the browser, client side, to the server. Okay? So, yan. Baka kasi sabihin niyo, pwede ba mag-operate ng website, sir, na walang SSL? Pwede naman. It's just that that website must be one way lang siya. Meaning, parang informational lang siya. Magbibigay lang ng content directly sa browser. But the moment na magpapasign up na tayo, magpapasend na tayo ng contact information, ng details, okay, may mga ganun na feature, we have to encrypt the transmission. And that's through the use of the secure socket layer na feature or SSI. Okay, so I hope I covered everything sa dashboard. That's the basic interface of WordPress. And we will cover more of this, no, as we add more plugins. For now, yun na muna. Okay, so far, we haven't installed much plugins just yet. That's totally fine. We'll cover tomorrow. Okay? And the rest of the plugins na gagamitin natin sa website development menu. Questions? Clarifications? Violent reaction? Meron ba? Then I guess we can dismiss this session and hoping to see everyone by tomorrow. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you.